The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. There is a diamond in the Tower of London, and the story attached to it is that it was a gift. It was not a gift. There is a document. It is 4 lines long. It is dated the 29th of March, 1849, and the person who signed it was 10 years old. His name was Duleep Singh. He was the last Maharajah of the Sikh Empire. His mother had been taken from him 18 months earlier and was held 800 miles away. The room he signed in was inside a fort held by the army that wanted the stone. 4 countries have asked for it back. One of those requests is the one nobody in India ever mentions, and we are going to give it a fair hearing. But first, almost everything you have heard about how this diamond traveled is wrong, and some of what is wrong was invented by the same empire that took it. This is the Koh-i-Noor, audited. The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. Start with the 4 lines because the 4 lines settle it. Article 3 of the Last Treaty of Lahore, quote, "The gem called the Koh-i-Noor, which was taken from Shah Sooja-ool-moolk by Maharajah Runjeet Singh, shall be surrendered by the Maharajah of Lahore to the Queen of England." Surrendered, not given, not presented, not gifted. The British wrote that word themselves. And read the sentence before it because that is the one nobody quotes. The treaty does not only take the diamond, Article 2 takes the state. The boy signed away a kingdom, and the stone was a line item inside it. Now, the age. Duleep Singh was 10 years, 6 months, and 23 days old. He had been on the throne since he was 5. He was not a ruler who lost a war. He was a child who inherited a defeat. Here is where the popular version overreaches, and we are not going to. He was not, on that day, a prisoner. He was a deposed minor under military occupation, treated with formal courtesy. If you tell people he was in a cell, you will be wrong, and someone will correct you. His mother was the prisoner. Rani Jindan had been separated from him and imprisoned, and she said this about it: "You have snatched my son from me. For 10 months I kept him in my womb. Instead, you should put me to death." The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. So if the boy was not threatened, where is the coercion? It is in writing, and it is aimed at the men around him. The day before the signing, the British representative put it to the Council of Regency plainly. If they and the Maharaja gave their formal assent, the position they held would be guaranteed. If they refused, they would lose everything the British government chose to resume. That is the whole mechanism. Sign and keep something. Refuse and lose all of it. The child's signature was the last formality on a decision that had already been made for him, and the man who took it did not pretend otherwise in private. Dalhousie, who ran the annexation, wrote afterwards that he had now, quote, "caught my hair." Some of the British establishment found this shabby at the time. A member of the Madras Council put it on the record: "This is perhaps the first instance on record in which a guardian has visited his own misdeeds upon his ward." That is not a modern grievance. That is 1849. The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. Now the part where this channel audits its own side. Claim 1, repeated constantly in India. Runjeet Singh gifted the diamond to the British. False. He died in 1839, 10 years before the treaty. He willed it to a temple, and the British never honored that either. Claim 2. Duleep Singh was 11. He was 10. If we are going to make an argument out of his age, we have to get his age right. Claim 3. Queen Victoria never wore it out of guilt. She wore it, as a brooch and set in a circlet. Claim 4. It is the largest diamond in the world. At least 89 or larger. And the most famous story of all, the one in every retelling. Nader Shah invades Delhi in 1739, learns the Mughal emperor is hiding the diamond in his turban, proposes an exchange of turbans as a gesture of friendship, unwraps it and cries out, "Koh-i-Noor, mountain of light." It is almost certainly invented. The historians who wrote the standard modern book on this stone trace the story to a British source, Metcalfe, writing in 1849, the same year as the treaty. An empire taking a diamond found it convenient that the diamond already had a legend of being taken. We will go further. That standard book gives the weight after the recut as 93 carats. It is 105.6. If we are auditing everyone, we audit the book we are citing too. The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. 4 countries have formally asked. India has asked repeatedly since independence. Pakistan has asked too, and this is the request that vanishes from Indian retellings. The argument is not weak. The treaty was signed in Lahore. The Sikh empire was governed from Lahore. Lahore is in Pakistan. If the claim rests on where the stone was surrendered, the address is not in India. Afghanistan has asked, on the ground that Shah Shuja held it before Runjeet Singh did, and that it left Afghan hands under duress as well. Iran has a historical connection through Nader Shah, though we could not source a formal government claim, so we are not going to assert one. Notice what that list does. 4 claimants, and every one of them can point to a moment when the stone was taken rather than given. The chain does not have a clean owner anywhere along it. That is not a reason to leave it in London. It is a reason to be honest that returning it does not have one obvious address. The British position has been consistent and simple. No. The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. One last thing was done to it. When it reached London, it weighed about 190 carats. Albert had it recut. It came out at 105.6. Roughly a third of the stone was ground away to make it sparkle in a European style. Think about what that means. The object that 4 countries argue over is not the object that was surrendered. That one no longer exists. It was cut down to suit the taste of the people who took it. The numbers are not complicated, but they are uncomfortable, and they are worth setting out slowly and in order. So, not a gift. Surrendered in 4 lines by a 10-year-old whose mother was in prison 800 miles away, in a fort held by the army that wanted it. Not stolen in the way the story is usually told either, because a treaty was signed, and pretending otherwise hands the other side an easy correction. Taken lawfully, under a law the takers wrote, from a child who had no capacity to refuse, and then cut down by a third. The turban story is a fiction. The curse is a fiction. The gift is a fiction. What is left is a document, an age, and a fort. Tareekh ka Hisaab. History audited. Hisaab abhi baki hai.